And what's going on? Fontaine here, back on the Akai Professional MPC Live. And in this tutorial video, we're going to take a look at slicing up some drum samples and sequencing your tracks. All right, so let's go ahead and jump under browser. We have places, content, expansions. Let's jump under desktop, for example. And I have some samples that I have from our website here. This is from our vinyl digging service, by the way. If you're wondering what kit I'm using the Monster Chops and Banging Break Drums Volume 3. Being that I have the camera focus here, I'm selecting pad 1. Okay, I'm going to press load. Pad turns green. Load. I'm going to go back to menu. Okay, under our program edit, it's polyphonic. We can use monophonic. It doesn't make a difference. We'll worry about that later on in the video. All right, let's jump under the filter envelope. And we're going to use attack hold decay instead. All right, and let's go to mess with this a little bit more. All right, so I'm giving you a view into my workflow and how I set my drums up. Now you can hold the Q-Link knob here and access different parameters such as pad parameter, pad scene, program, or project, but the defaults is pretty good here. And you can click on the Q control, or rather the Q-Link, and navigate this gold bracket. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select different types on the filter. Now you have low, let me tap that here, low 4, and it goes on and up, high 4, high 6, high 8. There's a lot of them in here. There's even one in here called MPC. But the one I'm going to use high 4. And you're probably like, why would you select a high filter on that? Basically, it's because I want to mess with the resonance of the sample itself. So I'm going to put this on 24. Somewhere around up in there. And then take the resonance and raise it to about 40, 45, 44. All right, just to make it a little more punchy. Now we have pad flatten here, and we also have this icon here if you want to edit your zones, multiple, all in that good stuff, but that's another video. All right, so we got that set up. Now from this point, we can pitch up the sample, put them in the same mute group, such as choke group 1. I'm not going to mess with the cycle and all that good stuff. Everything here looks pretty good, but if you did want to, mess with the pitch of samples, you can do that there and all that good stuff. And everything's right here at your fingertips. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the effects. I'm going to use the Akai Professional ones because I want you guys to follow along at home. And we'll select compressor, master. Now you have all on, all off. You can turn these samples on or off from here. And I'm going to select this icon here. And what we're going to do is leave the ratio. That's fine. What I will do is adjust the attack and the release on that. Adjust the output. Okay, that looks good. And I'm going to add another effect on here. I'm going to add an EQ really quick. I'm going to add a PEQ band 4, press select, again edit. I'm going to adjust the frequency for the drums to about, so I feel it sounds good. We'll brighten it up a little bit. And also a lot of times when it comes to drums, the perception of it mid a lot of times can make stuff sound louder. Okay, so we got that done. I'm going to press flatten here, and we're going to name the sample. Fontaine drum effects. Press do it. Pad A1. All right, now you notice everything is erased in here. It went back to its default state from the filters and everything. That's because we flattened the pad. So a lot of times it's not just making a seamless render on your sounds, such as stacking drums, but it also does the same thing to effects. So it's good to save CPU resources. All right, under sample edit, I'm gonna take off these couple of snares in the beginning. Take these off. And there's the tail on the back of it. We're gonna take that off. We're gonna discard this. Press do it. Here's a sample. Okay, so now from this point, I want to slice this up on pads. So I'm going to go to chop. I'm going to do a lazy chop on that. All right, so now when we have link slices on, what happens is it affects the start and end of each sample. So you can also turn link slices off. You don't have to do it that way. For example, if I turn link slices off and adjusted the endpoint here so I can overlap that sample, but if I press link slices on, it will snap it back. Boom. So that's a great way to adjust your start and end points really, really easy. Okay, so. Okay, so all that looks pretty good. I really don't see any reason why I couldn't assign this to pads now. Everything looks pretty good. Unless you really zoom in and get everything perfect, but this is tutorial video. I don't have to have everything 100% perfect. All right, so I'm gonna assign this first one to pad 1, non-destructive slice. Do it. Pad 2, non-destructive slice. Pad 3. Yep, you guessed it. And pad 4, non-destructive slice. All right, so we got those guys set up. Go back to menu. All right, so now what we want to do is we'll make a pattern right quick. So when it comes to your tracks and everything like that, you want to make sure that you do some housekeeping, because you definitely want to make sure that everything lines up correctly. So for sequence 1, I'm going to name this drums. Press do it. Track 2, we'll name it drums. Do it. Well, I said drum, but that's okay. And we're going to name this program. A lot of times, because you don't want programs to be duplicated, saying the same thing over and over and over. All right, so now everything lines up perfectly, because here's the program. You have different programs, such as, you have your pads here, your plugins, your key groups, for example, clips. You're saying clip 1, none. Same thing with MIDI. These are different programs. These work different than your drum pattern here. Okay, each one has its separate lane. All right, so what I'm going to do is make a quick drum pattern, and I'm using, sorry about that, shook the camera a little bit. Okay, the camera's good. And I'm going to do a tap tempo on that for the pattern that we have here. All right, to me that sounds about 85 beats per minute, so let's go ahead and type that in. All right, and we will press overdub. All right, and 2 bars should be fine. I'll just put 2 on here. That's fine. Or another way you can do it from this wheel. All right, so now we have a drum loop. Let's check the quantize on that. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, this one right here is off. All right, so now we got that on time. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to sequence this pattern out with different variations. So to get a different variation, what I'm going to do on, first thing I'm going to do is I want to make a copy of sequence 1. And I'm going to put SEQ in the front of this. Sequence 1. Do it. Okay. Then I'm going to make a copy of that. Now, you notice when you press your edit tool, you have different icons here, such as erase, clear, transpose, bounce, double length, half length. You can speed up samples, slow down samples, but we'll get into that later. But you can make this pattern half length, double length, save your sequences, bar, stuff like that. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to press copy this sequence onto an unused sequence here. I'm going to press do it. And you see that it duplicated it. So I need to change the name on that. I'm going to put sequence 2 drums like this. All right, now we got sequence 1 and sequence 2 drums. Again, housekeeping. So I'm going to press. Well, you know what? I could just copy this, right? Why don't we just copy this pattern? I'm going to press copy track, go to an unused one like this here, and it look the same. And we'll just go to the second one and we'll just write SEQ to TRK. We'll put track to drum. My space bar wasn't working for some reason. Okay, there it goes. All right, sequence 2, track 2 drums. And what we'll do, I'm going to put this on sequence 2. And I'm going to record a different pattern on that. And I got to use overdub. I keep forgetting. All right, so you see how sequence 2, what I did was, okay, here's sequence 1. Okay, I got 2 different tracks right there, so I can do different variations on there. Then I made a second sequence with a second track here when it has an extra kick. You can see that in the software, it has a second kick. So now I can play around, I can mix and match stuff. And that's the point where I'm making duplicates and copies of things. So we will sequence that from the song mode. And right here, I'm going to put program 2 on here, program 2 drums. So I want to make a different program on my drums too for that second sequence. All right, so let's go back here. All right, so then what we can do now that we have everything that we need to sequence out, what we'll do is we're going to menu, then we'll go under song mode. Okay, and we will insert those sequences like so. I'll just do 4 for the video. Then we'll go under the second one, we'll use sequence 2 and we'll let that loop twice. And then we'll go to sequence 1 and we'll let that loop twice like so. Okay, then I'll press play. In the song mode, we'll sequence these tracks and it will light up yellow here when it's ready to go to the next sequence. All right, so it went ahead and played a song out. And if you're satisfied with the song, what you can do is you can click on export, start bar, ending bar, wherever you wanted your song to end. You know, you can export it as a WAV, an AIFF, or an MP3. All right, so with the WAV, I would definitely suggest using a 24-bit sample rate. I would definitely suggest using 96 kilohertz to have a nice sample. Press export. Choose your location where you want to save it, and then name your song, you know, drum beat or whatever the case may be. Seeing around this camera is hard for me. I'm sorry about that. So my typing is going to be extra hard because I'm looking around this camera. I'll just put drum beat. All right, drum beat, boom, press do it. Then you just press save and it will save it. All right. So, all right, that's pretty much it. It's your boy Fontaine, VIPSoundlab.com, showing you how you can sequence your tracks, slice up some drum loops, add different effects and things of that nature. So that's pretty much it. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.